it's already started recording. Look at that. Okay, am I looking too, like, is my foundation thing too brown? You know, I've forgotten how to do everything. Anyway, I might leave this in, Chich. Anyway, come. So, everyone, it's been a while. Okay, so, I've forgotten how I started, Talia. Oh, I forgot what you're ringing. Yeah. Not that you're going to see it, but still. Thanks. Notice how the gold's come off on this. Would you believe that this is the third attempt at me trying to do this video? I wonder if it's a sign. Perhaps it's a sign. I don't know. I attempted to attach my... Let me show you. I attempted to attach my new little microphone thing because, you know, a lot of people have said to me, you need a microphone. I know. So anyway, I bought this sometime last year and it's a bloody expensive one. I think I paid $120 for this. All right, it's not as expensive as others, but still, I wasn't prepared to spend any more. And I started recording earlier and Talia said, you better check just in case. Anyway, I played back that little bit that I had recorded and sure enough, there was a huge amount of interference and static. Worse than the cheaper one that I had bought from eBay a couple of years ago. I'm actually really annoyed. Now, this is the brand Rode, R-O-D-E. I'm going to have to contact them because clearly now, I don't know where my receipt's gone and it's been a while since I bought it. But anyway, so I didn't come on to talk to you about my faulty microphone. Where have I been? This video will be a little bit of an update, a bit of a what's what. It will be a very unfocused video, which is ironic because I can't stand those type of videos. I like to watch a video that has a purpose, has a focus, has a direction, it's going somewhere. I think it's probably the English teacher in me. You know, you got to have a line of argument. You got to like have something to go towards in terms of having an outcome based on whatever you're writing or reading or saying. So having said that, this video will be the very opposite of that. It's been a while, like I said at the beginning, and I don't necessarily know why. I do on one hand, and I also don't on the other. So part of me has been feeling really demotivated, really unmotivated, whatever the correct word is. I don't care. I'm not going to split hairs today. And I just felt like talking about bag content to me felt superficial. But I've still been watching bag videos and, you know, supporting my fellow YouTubers who I've been supporting for years now and who in turn have supported me too. I've had lots of conversations with many of the other luxury community YouTubers that you have subscribed to, probably watch and all the rest of it. And I've just been saying for quite some time, it's like, oh, it's becoming almost a drag. Now, I mean, no offense to anyone, please, and I thank you all for still being here. I have dropped about, I don't know, 10 or 12 subscribers, something like that, which is not surprising. I haven't been uploading. The algorithm, the YouTube magical, mystical algorithm hasn't been promoting me. And I get it, makes sense, makes perfect sense. I bear no ill will against it. But I thank you to those of you who've still stuck around. And many of you have actually sent me messages on Instagram asking how I am, what have I been up to, am I okay? Quite a few of you have done that and you know who you are. I've had long conversations, texting or voice messages with you through Instagram, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside that people thinking of me, and I do appreciate it. But I don't understand what's going on with me. I sort of feel as if talking about bags and things is almost not enough for me. And I also feel as if, who cares what I think about a bag? Who cares what I can put in a bag? I sort of feel as if people are not going to give two bits worth, you know, insert word of choice there, about what I think about a bag or what my thoughts are about a particular runway or a particular show or cruise, this and that. I've lost some interest in luxury things, but then again, I have, you know, ebbs and flows. There are moments when I get that crazy feeling that I want to buy something because I haven't bought anything in a while, certainly not luxury wise. And then there are other times when the thought of having more bags makes me feel sick to my stomach. I don't know if it's because I'm noticing now that it's harder to save. I can't save as fast as I used to. All the costs of utilities, all the bills, all that sort of thing, they've gone up considerably. Mortgage repayments, because of the interest rates, they've gone up like already 5 or 6 times in this past year. Not 2023, but over the course of a year or so. And it's killing me. I'm blessed that I earn a decent salary, don't get me wrong. Still not enough to just head out and buy whatever I want, whenever I want, over a certain amount, don't get me wrong. And there are, responsibilities that I have that I certainly do stick to. So I'm not in debt, all my bills are paid. There's always plenty of food for the kids. I don't not buy them food. Or whatever they need. I'm constantly buying things for my daughter, the boys now and then, but my sons are working, so they tend to look after themselves to some extent, which has been a help. But it's the big things, that come regularly, and everyone has them. It's not just me, everyone has them, by all means. But I find it's harder to save now, and I think that has inadvertently forced me, or advertently forced me, to slow down on my spending with all of this. So a lot of my disconsolation, let's say, started last year when my son Samuel was diagnosed with his condition, and I felt a lot of guilt as a parent, because I thought, well, why does he have it, not me? I should have this. I'm older, I've lived most of my life. Why does he have to have something? And he's been all right with it, like he's coped quite well. It's been a me thing more than anything else. There's that parental guilt that, as much as rationally, logically, you can't do anything about it, and it's just the way things work out. That's the way people's cards fall sometimes. You can't help but want to protect your offspring. So I dealt with that for quite a while. Then I had my 50th last year at the end of July, and I did nothing. I actually wanted to hide. I actually felt horrible. People were like, oh, let's celebrate, do this, go out, do that, don't worry, da, da, da. Well, I couldn't bring myself to do that because my son was in Sydney at the time on his own, dealing with stuff, and the last thing I was going to do was have a big celebration or go out and buy myself something. I still haven't bought myself anything, and those of you who have followed me for a while, you know that I did a vlog the beginning of last year sometime, with my daughter, and I went to the Kanturi jeweler, and there's a beautiful ring that I'd like to buy myself, and all of that. And I didn't do it. I haven't done it. I will. Certainly I will. And when was it? I think it was July, August last year, when Super Jacob came out. Dale came down to Melbourne to watch his movie that he had created, and she gifted me a beautiful $100 Kanturi gift voucher. So I'm not going to let that go to waste, by all means. But I couldn't bring myself to celebrate in any way. And then slowly, this feeling of helplessness, this feeling of things being out of my control. And when I say control, I'm not a control freak. I mean that I couldn't I can't even express it. This feeling continued to grow. And I just wanted to hide. I wanted to be invisible. So I remember at that time, around about my birthday, I disabled all the notifications online, on your platforms when it's your birthday and so on. At work, some lovely people put on something for me, but I couldn't attend. I couldn't face it simply because it broke my heart. And then, of course, there was the added guilt that I was a bitch because I didn't, So there was a lot that was happening. I was feeling burnt out at work. I picked up a new role last year, and although I was working with another person, a colleague who was a level above me, and she was helping me a lot, in addition to my 3 classes, it was a huge workload, and still running around and looking after everything, mostly on my own. I was feeling burnt out, and I felt like I was drowning. So then fast forward towards the end of the year, and there were times when I had times of happiness and feeling uplifted, and then times of just quietness and wanting to hide and just not wanting to do anything, you know, and that's continued on this year. Yes, I've spoken to someone, anxiety kicked in, and it seems to have continued this year. And I don't know what's going on. It's almost as if I'm, you're all becoming my therapist now. I don't know. I know that I'm exhausted from work. I know that. But then it's also because I do work hard. There are the expectations on everybody at my work to work hard. But I know myself, and I think I've told you before, that I have very high standards of myself. And I hold myself to these high standards constantly, which can be debilitating at times. And I do feel bodily, mentally exhausted. I still do what I have to do. I still get my work done. And when I'm in a moment, or when I'm in a particularly good lesson, like I'm running a good class and students are engaged and I can see them actually getting it, that's when I get the most satisfaction. You know, it's like, fine, I've done something. I've helped them learn something. Do they need to know this particular theme about this novel, or how to write an analytical piece for the rest of their life? Is it going to impact the rest of their life? No. But it's a skill of analysis that I'm teaching, which is what I take pride in. So I want to do it well. Anyway, I told you I don't know where I'm going with this. This is going to be a long video, and I'm very, very sorry. So pause now if you're already frustrated. I completely understand. Or grab a cuppa. So I just thought to myself that I wanted to sort of touch base with you and let you know that I'm still here. I'm still watching other people's videos when I can. Oftentimes I will play a video while I'm in the car driving, because I can just play it. I can't always comment, but I can just play it. You know, I've been chatting with Winnie BLV, with Dale, with Tina Lux Chanel, oh gosh, how many others, with Andrew, with obviously my good friend Krista, who's a subscriber of many others on this platform, you know, with my own friends, with my family to some extent, you know, just this feeling of overwhelm, and it's hard to get on top of, and I just want to sleep all the time. I'm always tired. I know that sleep is a sign or a symptom of, like feeling fatigue is a symptom of depression. I don't know, and I don't think I'm depressed, but wow. Anyway, it's so bizarre. So bizarre. There are times when I feel like I'm a new woman, and times when I feel like I'm really old and bitter. Now, I am now officially divorced, which is, you know, a happy thing. When people ask me, you know, actually I was talking to a colleague and she said, yeah, you got to think about whether you tell people if you're single or divorced. Is there a difference? Yeah, labeling matters. But anyway, there are times when I think, yes, fantastic, finally I'm away from that, what was going on at the time. And then other times I'm sad because I think, wow, you don't expect this to happen. But the sad part through all of this is that despite having tried for so long, I just couldn't sustain it. So I think there's a lot of baggage and carry over from that. And if anyone's been through something similar, you would understand what I'm talking about. And then there are happy moments. I'm going to Fiji soon. Yay for me. This will be my first trip overseas, going to Fiji. And the reason I'm going to Fiji, it'll be just after Easter, is because I am, well, my sport at my work that I have to sort of help to manage and look after, as in the students, is rugby, and every year they head over to Fiji. They play with our sister school over there, and then they play other teams over there, so obviously they need staff to supervise, and I'm going this year. And the irony is that this is my first trip overseas. I've never been overseas. So growing up, my parents had their own business. Some of you probably already know. My dad used to run a butcher shop, and I worked in that butcher shop growing up. I know that grosses out a lot of people. Sorry about that. But I learned a lot of my life skills working in that family business. And so my family never went overseas because they were a small business, and shutting up shop for about 3 months or 2 months or something like that would have meant that they lost a lot of clientele. And at that time, there was like a bit of a turnaround in the area where their business was located, so they really wanted to hold on to their clientele. And then when I went to uni, I never really traveled on my own. I just never did it. I always obeyed my parents. And so that opportunity was never there, and it was hard for them to let go because I was the firstborn. I was the girl. They were very protective of me. And then fast forward through uni, work a few years, meet my ex-husband. He had already been overseas many times, so his reason for wanting to go back was to just spend time with the family in the village, and I didn't want to do that because for me, going overseas was a first time thing. I wanted to do all the cliche things and, you know, stand up against the Leaning Tower of Pisa and hold the Eiffel Tower in my hand and all the corny stuff. I wanted to do that, but he did it. So we never went anywhere. And I did not want to travel halfway around the world to spend 3-4 weeks in a little village somewhere. No. So I never went anywhere. So now here I am going to Fiji, and I tell people, and they're like, oh, that's fantastic, you know, your first holiday. And I'll say, oh yeah, but I'm going with work, with the students for rugby. And they're like, why would you go with the students? And bro, it's Fiji. I don't know when I'm going to get to Fiji. It's Fiji. I don't care if I'm going with the kids. They're good kids. I'm happy to. And other staff members too, of course. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's like a little happy bubble. And then I have moments of like incredible anxiety and self-doubt. And people say to me all the time, you shouldn't doubt yourself. I mean, students tell me, past students have told me, some colleagues have told me. But deep down, I still doubt, and I always thank them. I'm always polite. Thank you. You're very kind. I appreciate it. But you know, a few words that were said to me many years ago have stood the test of time. And now I just don't believe people easily. Some of you will know what I mean by that. I'm not going to go into that too much. So I've been up and down. In all honesty, that's what's been happening. I haven't bought any luxury things. Like I said, I still get that urge that I really want to buy something. And then I look at my bank account and I freak out. And I'm not in debt. I'm not struggling, but I like to have a certain number in my account. I don't know if anyone else is like that. And as soon as I go below that number, that's it. I start getting panicky. And then, you know, there are things like rates, council rates you need to pay, insurances, you know, the big bills. And when they all come out at the same time, in addition to your mortgage repayments, that's when the account sort of starts looking a bit thin. And you think, oh my God. So anyway, then there's that sort of added challenge that I've always had, has always been a problem for me, always probably will be a problem for me, and that is the fact that my body has changed. I've put on weight. Someone just said to me recently, it actually looks better on you, this weight gain, but I said, yeah, that's based on the photos you see on Instagram, because I know how to take an all right selfie. Real life is a different story. But anyway, so I have to sort of like come to grips with that and learn to accept myself too. Make my peace with this part, and it's age related and hormones. And I know some people say, oh no, that shouldn't matter, but we're all made differently. You know, we all have different hormones, and some people can exercise until they're blue in the face and others don't have to, and we'll have different body and everything. So I suppose we've got to celebrate our differences, I guess. So that's that. I just wanted to say hello. I just wanted to say thank you for still being here. I'm sorry this video has been a ramble and not gone anywhere, but thank you. And yeah, every now and then, sometimes I'm sitting on the couch, you know, if I have moments of laziness, when I can fit them in, and I'll think, oh, this is a good idea for a video. So I was jotting down some ideas on my phone, and earlier this year, back in January sometime, my phone was water damaged, and all of those ideas are gone. I had to buy a new phone. All those photos from about mid 2020, yeah, through till the beginning of this year are now gone because I never uploaded to the cloud. And somehow I got sweat into my phone while I was doing my outdoor gardening and my phone was corrupted. Gotta love that for me. Let me tell you, the anguish that I went through having the phone sent off to, you know, one of those repair companies, and they had the phone for 2 months. It went up to Sydney, it was pulled apart, parts put in, this and that, and in the end the data retrieval was unsuccessful. So add that to the mix. Yeah, so anyway, so I probably will upload a few more videos. I have sold quite a few bags and SLGs and so on, so I will do a video about what I've sold, why, and take it from there. I don't know what my content will be like anymore, and I completely understand if people are no longer interested in still being subscribed. I get it. It makes perfect sense. I mean, people are not going to want to invest time and energy into something that has nothing to do with what they're interested in. Completely understand. So if that's you, no hard feelings at all. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So guys, I don't know what else to say to you other than, like I said, big, huge thank you. This is how I've been lately. It's a little bit of a explanation of what's what. I'm sure I've left out a whole lot of stuff that I'll probably think while I'm editing, if I can remember how to edit, that I'll think, you know, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that. And if I do remember anything else, what I'll do is I'll put it in a pinned comment underneath. So yeah, that's that. So anyway, you'll notice I have a print here now behind me because I hated that bare wall, and I don't sit on this little stool seat anymore. I like to stand and move around, and I'm used to standing because that's what I do at work all day in front of the class, you know, just all the rest of it. So yeah, that was actually supposed to go in my daughter's room, and then she sort of didn't want it or like it anymore. So I said, all right, let me try it here. And I think it goes. What do you reckon? Yeah, I think it goes. So guys, that's that. Take care. God bless. I look forward to reading your comments as always. And I'll see you next time.